Imagine stepping into an airport, handing over your passport. The officer tells you, your country doesn't exist. Now imagine you insist it does, and you have all the proof bank statement, currency, and ID, but in this world, none of it means anything. Hey guys, I'm your peaceful outcast, bringing you today the bizarre case of the man from Taured, a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Year 1954, location Haneda Airport, Japan. A businessman arrives what seems like a routine customs check, but when the officer looks at his passport, things take a surreal turn. The mystery unfolds. The man appeared completely normal. He spoke fluent Japanese along with French and Spanish. His attire was professional and his demeanor was that of a confident international businessman. When asked about his country of origin, he calmly stated that he was from Taured, a sovereign nation in Western Europe. The custom officer, initially unfazed, scanned the pages of the man's passport, which looked completely legitimate. It bore official stamps from multiple countries, including previous visits to Japan and authentic visa stamps. Everything about it suggested it was real, except for one crucial fact: Taured doesn't exist. Confused, the custom officer asked the man to point out Taured on the map. Without hesitation, he placed his finger exactly where Andorra should be. This is Andorra, a small town principality situated between France and Spain. However, when he was informed that no country named Taured had ever existed, the man became visibly frustrated. He insisted that Taured has been recognized as a nation for over 1,000 years. He was adamant that something was wrong with the map, not with his own knowledge. He even presented government issued documents, including a driver's license and business papers, all from Taured. The custom officers, growing more suspicious, called in higher authorities. They examined all his documents carefully. His passport was real, down to the stamps, from various international trips, but they didn't recognize the stamps. His banknotes matched no known currency in circulation. His business paper contained an address for a company that, when checked, did exist. But the company claimed that they never heard of him. The man was escorted into an interrogation room where officials bombarded with him questions that he could not answer. His responses remained firm. He had traveled to Japan multiple times before, and he could not understand why they are treating him like a fraud. Authorities, now completely baffled, decided to place him in a hotel for a night while they continued their investigation. Two armed guards were posted outside his locked hotel room to ensure he did not leave. By morning, the mystery deepened further. The man had disappeared. There were no signs of forced entry or exit. His belongings, including his passport, wallet, were gone. The hotel room window was several stories high, making an escape impossible. Officials searched everywhere: the airport, nearby streets, hotel, and train stations, but he was never seen again. His records were vanished just as mysteriously as he had. So, theories and conspiracy says, was he a time traveler from the past or future? Was he a time traveler from an alternate timeline where Taured exists? Could he have been an experiment in interdimensional travel that failed? Did he momentarily slip into a reality before returning to his own? Could the whole event be an exaggerated story that mutated over time? If he wasn't from Taured and he wasn't from anywhere on the country, where did he go? Perhaps more importantly, where did he come from? Strangest part, cases like this aren't unique. There have been reports of people appearing from nowhere claiming to be from places that don't exist. Similar situation happened in 12th century in the case of the Green Children of Woolpit. Year 12th century, location Woolpit, England. One day, two strange children, a boy and a girl, were found wandering near Woolpit. Their skin was green and they spoke a language unknown to anyone. Something was off about these children. You see, not only did they speak some unknown language that was not familiar, the bizarre part is the children wouldn't eat anything that offered to them until they were offered some raw beans, which they ate happily. And the story goes even weirder from here. It says that the boy actually grew up very ill and ended up passing away. But the girl eventually lost her green hue, probably from a new diet, learned the language of the villagers, and ended up living completely a normal life. She even married a local man, but even she couldn't help solving the mystery of where she came from. So, since these stories are old, let's see who wrote about these green children. The story of the green children is actually super old. It's actually believed that the green children appeared during the reign of King Stephen. That's 1135 to 1154, and the story was actually recorded discovered by William of Newburgh in his book Historia Rerum Anglicarum, History of English Affairs. In the beginning of the recorded tale, even William includes that he didn't want to include such an impossible story, but he had to due to how many reliable witnesses he had encountered. So that's our first piece of evidence. The second mention of the story of Green Children was in Ralph of Coggeshall's. In his book Chronicum Anglicanum, English Chronicles, Ralph's story is almost identical to William's, but it does have a few differences. His sources supposedly knew the little girl personally. His account provides additional details about the story and is considered another primary source for the legend. If you actually want to read both translated tales, I'll leave the link below for you to guys read. Check it out for yourself after this video. Now let's go to the conclusion. Understand, this is my personal conclusion regarding the first case. I did some more research to know the truth. What is this? Is there a loophole in a code of matrix? What's happening here? And it turns out the man from Taured is a perfect example of how hoaxes evolve and spread over time. It started in 1960 when a Canadian newspaper called The Province reported about John Allen Kusher Zegras claiming he had a passport from Taured, likely a misspelling of Tuareg, now described as a country in Eastern Africa. He had a misspelling from Tuareg to Tauret. Also, there is another story that this guy was a spy for some Arab country and he came with his wife on a secret mission to buy weapons for some Arab rebels. After this incident, he got arrested. Wife was Japanese, so they sent her home and he was arrested. That's another story. I don't know which is true. I mean, imagine you're a spy. You have all those gadgets like James Bond gadgets. Your pen is a gun, and your shoes sticks to the wall, and your passport has a misspelling, and you get arrested because of that. Think what happened is he showed his passport and they told him, where is this isn't there, and this guy was a spy, right? So he freaked out and he went on with his story like, yeah, it exists, it's right here. Overall, it's funny. So the story is shifted further in the directory of possibilities, and Japanese website added an occult twist. The man from another dimension disappearing from a hotel after being detained by Haneda Airport. What started as likely a misunderstanding or exaggeration gradually morphed into a paranormal legend. A man from Tauret. You can research it for yourself. It's everywhere. Now, in the second case, it could be those children had some disease. You know, there's a man who turned blue. His name is Paul Carson. Like his skin turned permanently blue due to an ingestion and applying homemade colloidal silver treatment, a condition known as argyria. Same way, the kid might have suffered from malnutrition and ate something that is injected with sulfur. Sulfur can turn your skin into green, but not completely green, just a patches, your veins and all. The story might be built up over time by villager folk. You know, in villages, it's common for rumors to spread quickly. I remember there was a time when a light was seen shining from a distant jungle from a native village at night. So people started speculating about it. Some thinking it was a ghost sitting on a tree, like light was blinking, right? And everyone were hesitant to check it out due to fear. But when it was eventually investigated, it was found to be a helium balloon stuck in a tree branch, which had a light stuck in its bottom. And due to low battery, it was blinking. If it hadn't been checked, the rumors might have reached the media and it could have become an urban legend that a ghost still lives in the jungle. But what knocks me is the girl. The story says the girl, after she grew up, told she come from an underground town where they didn't had sunlight. That's why her eyes and skin turned green. That's included in the story. What baffles me is, why did she say that? I don't know. It's an old story, right? We can't speculate anything without evidence. Anyway, in total, what really happened here? They were youth. So what do you think? Were these real mysteries or just stories that goes out of hand? Let me know in the comments. And guys, I do remember in the last video I said next video will be about AI's bad side. I do remember, okay? That script is in process, needs a bit of touch. I'll drop it soon as I promised. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you'd subscribe, that would help me a lot. And with that, I'm signing off. Peace.